start the music.
Oh, God.
And we're going to start the show. And hopefully this goes well.
Hopefully. Hello! It's Liz.
And the Purist. That was the worst opener. Let's try that again.
It was really good. I liked it.
Welcome. I'm the Purist, and this is Liz.
Woo! I was going to do my Randy Savage.
That was terrible, too.
What's going on today? What is it? We're just off the mark?
No, it's more that
You know what? I know what it is. Say, hi, this is Liz, and
I'm the Purist.
coming to you alive.
Oh, God.
That's what it was. See, we were missing it. It sounded so much better this time, right?
Alive
Right.
Undead.
The live undead. Yep. Coming to you. We're here, alive. It's happening.
All right. So last time we were talking, and I kept saying all this stuff about Floyd, and you were like, you got to talk about it. And I said, no, we should wait.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went,
Why
well,
wait?
first of all, the reason why I have sunglasses on is because my eye is all messed up, and I don't, it's ugly. So I'm going to,
Oh.
yeah, it's irritated. I'm allergic to chemicals. So I didn't know that. I found that out recently, and I don't know exactly the extent of that. So
Really,
I
what it
mess
is?
with chemicals on a regular basis.
Your future's just too bright.
Yeah, I got to
what
wear
it is.
shades. So I was telling my wife the other night after our last show about all this crazy stuff I know about Floyd, and she was like, yeah, you need to do that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Even though I just don't like them, but yeah, I agree.
I disagree
I do.
on that.
That me not liking them?
Yes.
I'm sorry. What can I say? What
All right,
objection
so
free.
there's more to it than just that.
Okay.
The most important point to this conversation really is what was coming out of London at the time. This is not really a story just about Floyd. It's actually about the revolution of music at that moment and how important it was in the history of everything, rock and roll, everything that comes out of that moment. There's no way that you can't say that what was coming out of London from 1960 to 1970 wasn't the most important moment in history.
No, I can totally
And it's a little
acknowledge that.
overwhelming to really think about how much these all intertwine together.
I've always stood by the fact that I think the Beatles are super influential, and we wouldn't have who we have if it wasn't for them.
First and foremost, to your point, it
I
literally
like
said on Wikipedia that the
most
Beatles are the most influential band of all time.
Yeah.
I agree with that completely, but that's not the point, because I don't even know if I'll put Beatles on. This
Oh
isn't
God, thank you.
this isn't about that, but it is important to recognize the storyline between what was going on at that moment and why. Mm-hmm. Why am I opening that? I still got to finish that.
Oh no.
So let's start with the fact that Beatles start in 1960.
1960 was a great year.
Okay.
Such a good year.
Floyd started in 1965.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 5 years later.
Okay.
Rolling Stones
I
started.
mean, they're two different bands at this point, though.
That's
Oh,
Rolling.
I'm here to listen today, I think.
The Rolling Stones come out in 62.
Okay.
All at the same, in a 5-year period, 3 of the most important bands in the history of rock and roll come out at the same time.
Okay.
And they do have to do with each other, because the Beatles start, and then the Rolling Stones go, well, we're going to go this direction.
Mm-hmm. Thank God.
And I'm more of a Beatles fan than the Rolling Stones fan.
I'm more of a Rolling Stone. I love the Rolling Stones.
I love them. I mean, they're great, but I'd rather listen to the Beatles. I just like the fun. The Beatles make me happy.
I'm the walrus.
Yes. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Okay. So when Floyd comes out, in the moment that they come out, they're looking at Beatles like you do. They're looking at it as kind of like a joke. It's like, that's
boy
pop.
band. Yeah.
That's, yes.
Radio friendly.
Correct.
Manufactured.
They're no different than you are. In fact, how significant this stuff is what drives me insane talking about this stuff. So I'm going to try to explain this in a calm fashion, because I get excited talking about Floyd. I hate it. It's a weird obsession.
This is why Nicole's like, you have to do this. You have to do this one.
But it's extremely important to pay attention to how many hits the Beatles had because Beatles are only in a 10-year period. They're it. That's it. He dies shortly after that. It's only a 10-year period.
Really? Oh my God, it feels like never ending.
They did 13 albums in that 10 years.
Yeah.
13 albums.
I do appreciate when they found drugs.
And
I
they
rarely
wrote
say
all of that
about-
themselves. maybe a couple songs were somebody else's, but most of it was their own music on top of that too. That's a ton of music in a short amount of time.
Okay.
You think about how big Beatles are, and it was only 10 years.
10 years.
Think about that. Now, granted, the rest of the stuff that McCartney does and Harrison does and everything like that afterward should fall into what the Beatles did. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, we only think about that 10-year moment most of the time. And it's amazing to think about what happens in that 10 years that causes all the stuff that cascades from it, and how important that 10 years really is. Because Floyd comes out and they're like, we don't want to be like them, but they have to kind of sound a little bit like them at that time, and they're trying to find their way around their version of what was going on, but they have to make hits. At that moment, it's like, what are you going to make as a hit? It's not what you're going to make as a psychedelic. It's what are you going to make as a hit? And at that moment, we have Syd Barrett. Okay. He's basically the creator of the band. And he's like an insane artist.
The Beatles.
No, Floyd.
Floyd.
No,
Okay.
from this point on,
We're Floyd now.
I'll bring Beatles into it a little bit
Every now and
when
then.
it comes to the timeline.
So I would not have ever assumed that that Pink Floyd was concerned about making hits. I mean,
Absolutely, 100%.
that seems like kind of counterproductive to what,
Well, it's what the
their
labels
whole
are doing to
sound
be able to
was.
get out there. But you have to play the game to get your first record.
Okay.
And your first record has to be somewhat popular
So,
to be able to go from there.
yeah.
Period.
I mean, how do you get your pudding if you don't eat all your meat, I guess,
Sure.
Yeah, I really wish you didn't have his glasses on. That would have been a great
You did see it, yes.
I
Good
did.
point. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be
Okay.
good.
It's all right. You're fine. Are you enjoying the music? I want to turn it
I
up.
hate it so much.
this song. Okay.
I equate this stuff to acid jazz. Ugh.
So Syd Barrett and Roger Waters go to college together. Well,
Okay.
no, I'm sorry. They go to high school together.
Okay.
Then they go off to college to two different places. David Gilmour meets Syd Barrett, so that comes into play later too, as the other part of the band later after Syd. But the crazy thing was that Roger Waters, Nick Mason, and Richard Wright all went to architecture school together.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So we're talking about music. They went to architecture school.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to art school and becoming a concrete designer. I don't know.
Do we know anyone who took that?
It just came to my head.
So they picked
Okay.
the pathless.
So Syd goes to art school. David Gilmour goes off to just be, he was in art school with them, but he was more just a guitarist, and he was doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Syd has all these crazy ideas and puts this band together kind of by accident. And he takes the lead on everything that they do for a while, for the first 2 years. Within 3 years, he goes completely insane.
Insane.
Completely insane.
Like, we talking schizo?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, has to live with his mom for the rest of his life.
Aw.
Because he was given LSD for a very long period of time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the same thing that happened to, oh my God. Why can I not believe it? Never mind. I'm going to skip that.
We'll have to,
I don't want to feel like an idiot when I say the song because I can't remember the person right now.
Okay.
Never mind.
What's the song? I might know.
I'm not. No, I know all the songs. I can't believe I can't. I'm drawing a blank on
The person.
On the person.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to make myself look like an idiot. I'm just going to let that slow. I'm just going to let that go.
Don't
I'm
have a
just gonna
verve
ignore it.
moment.
I'll just block this out.
Yeah.
This didn't happen.
Edited.
It's the funny thing is that we record these on Fridays sometimes, and then we post them on Tuesdays. So this is like a happy Friday for me. So plus I work from home today.
Yes. Ready for the weekend. Whoop, whoop.
All right. There's a significance to why I'm telling you all this.
Yes.
Because once Syd goes crazy, the band still goes.
Okay.
They bring David Gilmour in because of it. Mm-hmm. And in fact, literally in the second album, they bring him in during that album. He really gets to do one album, goes on tour, starts the next album, goes insane, and they replace him.
Oh.
And he goes off to live with his mom for the rest of his life.
And that's done. He's done.
Yeah.
His chapter is over.
For the rest of history, he never
And now
goes
we have
anywhere.
Mr. Gilmore.
And So when that happens, it changes everything, because before that they were a full out psychedelic. How far can we go? How crazy can we go? How obnoxious can we go? How far can we push the envelope? Mm-hmm. Gilmour comes in and he's the only one that actually knows how to read music. The other guys make up their own music, like it looks, and Gilmour said it looked like it was like something written out of architecture, like the way that they put the structure together. Mm-hmm. It was more of an architecture base for them to try to figure out how to play music. Yeah. How crazy. I mean, I've never heard that before.
Yeah. But that, you got those guys that are in bands that went to MIT. I wonder if it's the same thing for them.
It's very similar. That's my point. That is exactly the point. Yeah. It just happens to be in London at the same time as the Beatles, at the same time as Rolling Stones. Yeah. But they go this other path, and in the beginning it's a little overwhelming and it's a little obnoxious. Yeah. But they finally get there. They clear out of that and they come out with Dark Side of the Moon, which changes everything in the history of music at that moment. It is the most. It was on the top 100, whatever it is, like top sales for like 365 weeks. Jeez. It's like the longest running top album of all time, right up there with Michael Jackson. No kidding. Think about that.
I just don't.
Through all of this, most of their music makes them think of their buddy Sid. Oh. So I am playing Shine On You Crazy Diamond from Wish You Were Here. Yeah. This song, the whole album is We Wish You Were Here.
About Sid.
Okay, and this song was literally written about him. He is the diamond. Shine on, you crazy diamond. Yeah. Shine on.
Poor Sid. That's
While
so
they were
sweet
recording this album, he showed up.
Oh.
And he sat in the background. He had no hair. He shaved himself bald, and he was sitting in the corner, and no one recognized him. No one said anything to him. Mm. Everybody thought that he was somebody else's friend. Yeah. Listened to them record this song and then left. And they never saw him. Well, they saw him a few times. They went to his house and stuff, but he was hard to talk to. Yeah. How crazy.
That's crazy. I can't stand this music.
You don't love the saxophone?
It's so bad to me. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Oh my god. I don't understand it at all. Like, I'm just gonna put this on and lay back and like, oh no, I can't. I mean, I know. Like, I'm weird.
I have so many stories of this album. Mm. I have so many stories of all the stuff that's gonna play.
And I'm like the only one. I'm like there's something wrong with me.
There is. I think this is one of the greatest songs ever written in the history of music.
Wow.
And I think that as an artist, everybody should remember to shine on. Like, I think it's so important in the history of music because it reminds you that you can be what you want to be and you've got to shine on. Just like Sid was supposed to. And it sucks that you aren't, but we're all going to because of it. We're going to learn from you and go shine on for the rest of our lives and not do that.
Shining on for Sid.
Yeah.
I like it. I want to make a shirt.
That was just part 1.
I know.
Well, part 1 through 3. There's a whole nother half of that song.
I know. I mean, I don't know, but I know.
So that was the hardest part for them was they weren't making very many hits. They were making very long songs. Yeah. They were making concept albums. Beatles started to do the same thing also, right before all that. Because they spent the last 5 years of their career not even touring. So we're talking about 10 years, and they only toured the first 5.
Yeah, that's so bizarre. Wait, I don't know if I...
All they did was record after that and do movies of their albums. They never toured again.
The first 5 years was that boy band poppy shit, right?
And then they started to get into more psychedelic stuff. And then
it was like the Yellow Submarine.
Yes. Okay. And they made videos and everything like that. So they became the
White Album,
actors almost on a lot of it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's so crazy to think about. So this is Arnold Layne. This is their first song. This is their first hit. This is their first hit. This is their comparison to the Beatles. Ugh.
It's so much better music in the 60s.
Isn't this crazy? This is Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't block it. If you do, watch it on Spotify.
If you do block it, it will just...
This is their first hit in 1965.
Good.
This gave them a chance to make an album.
It's great. It's
Now, I'm not going to say this is one of my favorite songs of all time. Not in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But sounds like the Beatles.
It does sound like the Beatles, yeah. It sounds like that 1960s, like...
So now, this is 1965. And what did I just say the Beatles did from 65 to 70?
Nothing other than record and make videos.
But they were, like you said, they started going psychedelic.
Yeah, they started doing drugs.
Simultaneously, they're making psychedelic music.
Yeah.
So if you go back and you listen to what the Beatles are playing at this exact moment, and you watch the next couple years and how they almost, but then they veer off so far because Floyd doesn't want it. They're going full hardcore psychedelic, and they want to experiment. The Beatles' idea of experiment is still pop music experiment.
Okay.
Rolling Stones is pop music. Floyd was the one that was like, let's drive how far we can take our instruments.
This weird shit, yeah.
And make really weird music. And they did.
Yeah.
You know, I can play some really crazy stuff,
Yeah.
but then that's going to just annoy you even more.
I know, like, this one's actually more tolerable because it's, like, less Pink Floyd-y to me. You know.
So the next one...
But it's... Oh, no.
It's almost over. The next one is called See Emily Play. It was their second
37 minutes.
No, this is still at the same time period.
Gotcha, okay.
So I wanted to go back in time and show you how it all starts, to show you how different it becomes. And then, you know, but when you get into The Wall is more pop music too. That's shorter songs, and that's more storyline. They had concept albums, every single one of their albums.
Doesn't that have, like they released a movie with it, right?
I mean to do this one next. What happened?
I don't know.
Pause for station vacation. It didn't put it. Oh, I know what it did.
It's Pink Floyd. That's what it is.
Okay.
This is that, like, I like psychedelic music. Like, I like, you know, all Jefferson and the Airplanes and, like, you know, getting. But I just. I could be like, you know, I liked Pink Floyd first album, and that's it. Like, you know.
I disagree with you.
Would this be like would this be disappointing? Like, if this was like an artist in our era, we'd be like, man, they started out this way. Like, what posers, what assholes? Why'd they change? You know, like, why did they change?
Okay, name another band that has done that in our time period.
I
can name two.
Who?
Easily name two without a shadow of a doubt.
Okay.
Radiohead.
I feel like they've stayed well within their kind of weird niche-y stuff.
Not from where they started to where they went whatsoever.
Okay. Who else?
9 Inch Nails.
I mean, other than what
you go
just
back to
said
Head
me,
Like a Hole, and then go to where he is now.
No.
Not even close.
Okay.
He went down a dark path after Head Like a Hole.
Yeah. It was like, was it his grandmother dying? Like, did that
I don't know.
cause some rift in his world of music?
What do you think of this song?
Yeah, see, like, it's better and I can tolerate it. It's not my jam. Like, it's not, you know, but I can dig it. Like, way better than, like...
That's Sid singing.
Yeah. This is, like, you know, that 60s, 70s, like, you know, the
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
Yeah.
The Doors.
Yeah, and I'm okay with all that. Like, you know, it's just when we get into that weird, pretentious...
See, a lot of that happens right after this. That's the point. That's my point.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, they made room for those people to come out and do that.
In London in
cool.
general, let alone just what was going on in England. And it gets even better because of that story. So you look at all that and you go, okay, we lose Sid. We start making music about Sid for the most part. We start experimenting. We start taking this completely different path. Floyd makes 14 albums over the next 30 years. For a long time, it was every other year.
Oh, wow.
And it blew my mind to think about the fact that back again, Beatles did that in 10 years.
10 years.
That blew my mind. I never thought about how many, there's so many Beatles songs.
One would argue too many Beatles songs.
One would not. and so this is where I love this moment. Okay. What comes out of there right after this is the most important point to me.
Okay.
In 1962, David Bowie also starts.
Oh, cool, yeah. I could dig it.
And in those first couple years, he's terrible. he has no chance at a career. It's not going well at all. Nobody cares. He's going too psychedelic. It's not working.
They will care.
But guess who influences him?
Oh, Pink Floyd?
Not just Pink Floyd, but specifically Syd Barrett.
Syd Barrett, yeah.
Has a conversation with him, gets to know him, and is like, no, you're an artist. You need to act like an artist.
Yeah.
And took him down that path of like being an artist, not just being psychedelic and being crazy. You're an artist. Act like an artist.
Yeah, have like some meaning behind it.
And so you think about, like, for example, I mean, not comparing these at all, but like Lady Gaga does the same thing. Mm-hmm. You know, she's an artist. She went to school for art, and she decided to make she went to school for theater, and she chose the path she chose with everything she did too. She knew what she was doing. Bowie took that information and went and did Space Oddity. 2 years later, does Ziggy Stardust. And totally goes theatrical.
Yeah.
And makes pop music at the same time.
And I dig it. Sign me up.
So how important is the 1960s in London at that very moment? And think about how many bands come out of that from there that are influenced.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I mean, like, yeah, absolutely. I will always give credit where credit's due. This band.
This is off metal.
Yeah.
Again, this isn't what you're expecting. This song's called Fearless.
Fearless. I was pretty fearful of this episode, honestly.
Is it okay so far?
So far, it's great. I love it.
You only had one song you hated?
Yeah, I mean, it's because you're easing me into it. I know it's coming.
No.
The Wall's not going to play.
No. When it gets to The Wall... So, no, I'm not going to go there yet. I'm going to go to what I love.
Okay.
So, Okay, Floyd splits up because of The Wall.
No,
And at
really?
Yes.
I don't know nothing. I'm a novice when it comes to this guy.
Roger Waters wrote The Wall.
Okay.
And in fact, it literally got changed to Roger Waters' The Wall.
The Wall.
It is Pink Floyd's The Wall in the beginning, but when they break up, they kind of give him the rights to that. And they still play some of the music because some of the songs are still David Gilmour's song, like stuff like that. Comfortably Numb is David Gilmour's.
My favorites. Love that jam.
Right, sure you do. And so they all do their solo stuff from that point on, but it becomes very volatile with everything that happens after that point. So what happens though is right after that, David Gilmour goes back to Nick Mason and Richard Wright and go, just because he doesn't want to be here anymore, why are we not doing Floyd?
Yeah.
You know? Like if he's going to be a prick and try to claim that he owns the rights to everything or wants to do it, like he didn't have the rights. So they still did Floyd without him. He tried to sue him. It was a huge battle and they won with no problem. And they were enemies for the next 20 years.
Aww.
But during that point, the rest of the band does 2 albums.
Okay.
And they become... But they're more prepared, they're more production, they're way better than what they were at before. It changes everything to me too. I look at this as, I'm just going to skip to the next one since you're enjoying the song so much. This is on the Turning Away. This is my favorite song of Floyd's of all time.
Okay.
No, it's not a short song. No, it's only 5 minutes.
That's short in the world of Floyd.
I hope this plays.
If it doesn't, it'll just solidify my feelings. Oh, listen to that. It's beautiful.
I'm going to crank it on the video. More than I want to crank it right now. I didn't know it. Oh, we never closed the doors again.
Both of them. Wide open.
Nicole just got home. You want to go close those real quick?
I can, yeah. Be right
I'll
back.
keep talking without her like she's here and knows what I'm about to say. Because she can't hear me at all as she walks away. Because if you don't have the headphones on, you really can't hear a whole hell of a lot. It's pretty funny, actually. I've noticed that over the times of doing these, that just sitting here talking to each other is not the same thing at all.
That's really hard.
Anyway, back to my song. This is my favorite song of all time.
Okay.
This is probably my favorite album of theirs too. Okay. I think David Gilmour was the genius, and Roger Waters was awesome. But the other point to that is like The Wall. When they performed The Wall, David Gilmour, they only performed it like 4 or 6 times together as a company, and they David Gilmour was the stage manager. So he had 60 cues that he was doing while playing guitar live on stage.
Okay, I was about to ask. I was like, how are you going to be the stage manager and in the band?
That's how detailed this band was and everything that they
Gilmour.
did.
I tell you, they are hard workers.
That's, I mean, the beauty, the power of what it takes to do that, and the credibility you have to have, and the genius you have to have, and the knowledge you have to have to be able to pull off something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so they break up, and he takes over the band. And this album, they go to NASA, or NASA comes to them, one of the two, and says, hey, do you want to do our light show? And the entire concert light show is created by NASA.
Oh, okay. I was not following because I was like, NASA was like, will you put on a light show for us?
No, the opposite.
Pink Floyd?
They showed them technology, and they did a completely different, most unique, it was the Pulse tour. And it had this big circle in the middle and all these lights around it, and it was something new. It was amazing. The sound was amazing. One of the things that these guys also did back in the day when they first started was they were one of the first bands to take speakers and put them in the back of the arena. So you could surround sound it. To do what they did with psychedelic at that moment, especially with the 4-track.
Yeah.
You know, because they didn't have the capabilities we have now. At this point, they do.
Yeah.
You know, because at this point we're still starting digital, but it's early stages of it. But they still were able to do a lot more recording of all the different layers, because they're one of the most layers of any band I've ever heard.
Yeah.
There's so much depth going on right now.
There's a lot. Oh yeah.
And David Gilmour has such a nice, calm voice. He's not yelling at you like Roger's complaining all the time. You know, the funniest thing about Roger Waters is all of his music is probably the most depressing music of all time if you actually read the lyrics.
Oh.
But then you listen to it and it has that upbeat sound to it. You know, and some of this is like that too. I mean, they're both pretty good at kind of giving you a happy song or a positive song that actually has a negative meaning.
I can dig that. I can dig that. I like when a band can do that. Give me something remorseful and down, but give it to me in a happy way, and I could dig it.
So are you tolerating this song?
I mean, you know, that just gets so epic all the damn time.
It is. What's wrong with epic all the damn time?
Like I'm going on a quest, man. I gotta listen to Pink Floyd. We're going on a quest.
Yes.
It's like D&D in real life.
Yes.
It's just not my thing, but I mean, I can see that. I can hear that. Yeah. Like, you know, we're going to go fight the dragon. We're going to go conquer and save the princess.
When I paint a painting.
When you do it.
So to what you just said, when I paint a painting. When I start off, I can make the biggest mess I want to on there. And so I have 2 brushes in my hands, and I'm listening to Rage Against the Machine and Slayer and stuff like that, and I'm just attacking that like you wouldn't believe.
Okay.
By the time I get to the details of what I'm doing, I'm sitting there listening to only Floyd going dot, 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 over and over and over, and painting every little tiny detail to a point that I need to be so incredibly focused that nothing can get in my way.
Yeah.
Any other time throughout most of the points of those paintings, I can listen to just about anything, especially in the middle ground. I start off with the attack, but once I get into the fun territory where I start to have fun with it all, I can listen to just about anything and put it on random.
Yeah.
But once I get to having to put the details in, it is Floyd nonstop, nothing at all from beginning to end, every single album from beginning to end. I don't random them either. I have to be able to stay in the concept that they're doing, to stay so focused at one time that I can do that for hours.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how long it takes. You do that for days on some paintings.
Right.
It's insane to think about.
Just the
and
details.
There's almost nothing else I can listen to. Radiohead, I'm pretty much good with too, on a couple of their albums. But it's really at that point, this right here.
This is it?
Wish You Were Here.
This is my favorite song.
And I knew it would be.
It's just, I mean, every
The
time
lyrics
it
are
comes
perfect.
on. Ugh. I don't know. When I really need to concentrate, I go to Kid Rock. Just kidding.
Right. You go to Cardi B.
I go to Cardi B. I listen to Doja Cat. She really helps me focus and center. But, two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl. Just time after time, man. What are you going to do?
That song came up at perfect timing. Mm-hmm. One of the best guitar moments of all time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this song. It's perfection.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's so
Dark
good.
Side of the Moon is perfection. Wish You Were Here is perfection of music.
Perfection.
Animals is really close. Animals is tight.
I couldn't even tell you what album this was off of. I thought it was a wall. Everything's a wall for
Yeah, no.
Pink Floyd.
They're completely different.
Yeah, I know. One has those hammers and they're swinging.
Well, no, but it's also... I'm going to ruin it for everybody else because she doesn't want to listen to this. Just remember, I'm changing the music for her, not for you. I know you all love it.
And I love you all.
Back to the saying. Okay,
Oh, I just can't.
this is my favorite.
So,
This is my favorite song on the wall,
okay.
and it's called "The Thin Ice."
Thin Ice. Okay. Sounds like, kind of has like, that sounded like the Beatles to me.
I think The Wall is very pop.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. Sadly, though, as funny as that is, it's the final cut that is really my favorite album of all time, and that's the final cuts of The Wall. So The Wall was almost 3 albums,
Of course it was.
and they had to cut parts of it out, and that really became Waters' final. Like, they put that album together because they were fighting with each other, so it was already recorded. So they just kind of put it all together and called it the final cut,
The final cut.
and then they broke up. It was a great way to end. And that's an amazing album, but it's all like The Wall.
So
It's
did they
more.
do like the things that all the other old bands do? Break up, get back together, break up, get back together.
No,
Reunion tour. We'll never
No.
go play again.
they
we're playing
did.
again.
They did like Farm Aid or something like that. Once together or twice together. Like a couple of fundraising ones they did together, and that's it. No, still to this day, Roger and David don't get along at all.
Oh.
And in fact, there's a song on Momentary Lapse of Reason that that they write about, and it's really the argument with Waters.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy to think about that they just basically were like, F you.
Come on, people. Now smile at your brother. Everybody get together. Try
to love one another?
Yeah.
No.
Why not, man?
No.
I did that in Kurt Cobain's voice in my head. Yeah.
The thin eyes.
It's the dun-dun-dun, and then the big roaring. It's just all of it. It's just
so impactful.
Yeah, it's just so epic. And it's like, I mean, you know,
Okay. I should have put pictures together for The Wall, and I think I could probably find them in a second. I went to see The Wall when it was just Roger Waters doing it at the Bridgestone Arena.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. It is my #1 concert of all time. Of all the things, all these years, and all the stuff that I've seen, I've never, ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
They projected on the wall.
Oh.
So they built the wall, and
put
as
the
they're
wall
building
on
it,
the wall.
they projected on the wall. And I sat there with like my Windows camera at the time, and I just kept snapping photos because I kept catching subliminal messages in it and stuff, and subliminal moments and stuff like that that were hard to catch because there were so many things they kept doing.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like it.
Oh.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But that's the whole point. It's not just the song; it's the album, it's the concept, it's the story, it's the everything.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole thing, man.
It's epic. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be epic.
Yeah.
Why can't
It's an
music be epic?
experience. That's the word.
It's far more than just that. Yes,
I mean, I just, like, yeah.
but I'm not a big fan of The Wall either. So
Just
you're fine on that.
hear it. It's right there. Ugh. But like, I mean, like when I was in high school, I never like, you know, put this on and smoked a whole bunch of pot and got like lost in my thoughts. You know, like that just wasn't what I did.
Okay,
You know,
I did.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people.
Not only that, but
And it's not bad. Like, you know.
well, not the
it just-
drug part, but
Yeah, no, none
but
of us do.
I got a
drugs at
story
all,
for
ever.
you. Okay, speaking of,
Speaking of,
I'm gonna
story.
play. I don't if whether we finish this song or not. I don't care. We'll go on after this.
Okay.
When I lived in Alliance when I was going to Mount.
Okay.
I lived right across the street from the college. Right behind our house was the practice field for the band.
Okay.
And then right behind that was a water tower.
Okay.
And not one of those water towers that's like the real skinny ones with the big water boom thing up above that you can see all over the city.
Mm-hmm.
It was just one big giant cylinder
Okay.
that was probably 5 stories tall,
Gotcha.
maybe 4 or 5 stories tall. And one time, my friends and I were walking back there because that's where behind that was the football field, the practice football field too. So it was just empty for acres behind me. So we'd always go back there and goof off, and everybody would do their thing.
Mm-hmm.
One day we were walking over there, and we noticed a garage door size entrance cutting a hole in the bottom of it. Like you could drive in.
Oh, wow.
And we're like looking at each other going, what the heck?
Yeah.
So we walk in there, and we're so naive. We're in college. We're 20.
Yes.
I'm 21 years old.
Young and dumb.
I don't even know if I'm 21 yet.
To be young and dumb
Yeah,
again.
I think it was my senior year. Yeah, I was 21. And yeah, I mean, really. So we walk in there, and it's all covered in sand. And we're sitting there going, what the heck? And it's the only entrance into this giant metal cylinder.
Yeah.
So you could just like put your, stomp your foot down and just go boom, 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 boom. For endless amount of time. And the sound had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go.
Nowhere.
Except for this single car garage door entrance coming out the bottom of it.
Just reverbing.
There was like this little door on it that was a pressure door to the outside for the water, from the water pushing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you could just move that and just touch the side of the wall, and it would bounce for a minute.
Oh, that's cool.
The sound it would make.
So did y'all get your little boom box and play?
Not a boombox. It was my cassette tape player with my little tiny speakers that were this big.
Yes.
But it echoed so well that those 2 little tiny speakers still played the entire room.
And y'all just had an experience.
There was this cage there that was hanging from the ceiling. And we didn't understand what was on the cage. Mm-hmm. And that gets to the funny part of the story.
Okay.
And we could literally grab that cage and just swing endlessly through this room because it was massive. Like there was no way to hit end to end. And there was this scaffolding on the ground. And so we were just goofing off, playing around, just having a party. Like we did not tell almost anybody about it. Like it was a very private.
This is your little secret.
And I invited only my core friends to go there, and no one else. We did not talk about it.
Yeah.
We didn't have cameras. We have no record of this whatsoever.
No girls allowed in the clubhouse.
And of course, what did I play all the time?
Pink Floyd.
Yes.
Yep. Just reverbing off those walls.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Y'all's mind just expanding.
Yes.
Like the universe is just like circling around your head in there.
It was unbelievable.
Love it. Oh, that's awesome though. See, I don't have a Pink Floyd experience like that.
So here's the funny thing to the story. The cage had little nozzles on it.
Okay.
The scaffolding was attached to the ceiling too. The sand was because they were sandblasting the inside of the thing. It was air hose. The cage was air, and they would just hook an air hose up to it and run it up there, and they could go up there and they could air sandblast the walls and clean it all off. That's what they were doing. We had no clue.
Y'all were just in there.
We were so dumb that when then we come back and all of a sudden the door becomes like a big pipe that you have to crawl through, but it's plenty big. It's like 4 or 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
You have to crawl through, and we get in there and there's no more sand, there's no more cage, and there's no more scaffolding, and we're like, whoa.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder where it all went. And then all the noise was a higher pitch.
Oh.
Because it wasn't deadening sound, and it echoed even more. Because then all we had was a 5-foot circle of sound able to come out.
Yeah.
No one can hear anything we did in there whatsoever for months. Months of college.
Yeah.
Every weekend.
Just having a blast. Your secret clubhouse.
We called it the sanitarium.
The sanitarium.
And we specifically played this album because this is Animals, because the songs were long. They're 11-minute, 13-minute. Yes, there's only 5 songs on the album, and the first one and the second one, or the first one and the last one, are like
there's
a minute.
only 5 songs on the album.
It's still a 40-minute.
Jesus. To see, like,
It's very political. It's extremely political. All the songs are called dogs, sheep. I'm not kidding. Pigs. It's pigs on the wing, dogs, pigs, sheep, pigs on the wing.
Gosh.
And it's all political.
Of course it is. And it's you know, it's an experience.
I mean, this is an amazing guitar moment.
Yeah, yes. Just living it. It's just there.
I think this is the greatest guitarist of all time.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, David Gilmour is the greatest of all time.
I like a Gilmour. I'll say that, man. I do. I'm a fan of the Gilmours. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, like, all I can say is I will get a lot of shit for it. Like, I get it. You know, it's not a popular opinion. I don't like the Beatles. I don't like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I'm way less on the Beatles than I am on this. I can't wrap my head around how you don't like this.
Yeah, it'll really upset you because I like Led Zeppelin. You're gonna be like, how can you like them?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I do. I love them.
Dogs barking in the background.
It's political. I hear it. It's there. God. I just, I don't know. I really appreciate people who do like them. And I appreciate them. And I will give them credit where credit's due. When I'm reaching for an album...
Doesn't sound like it.
No, I do, yeah. I mean, Nirvana wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, any
That's
of
more
these
Beatles.
guys. Yeah. But, I mean, they wouldn't. Like, everyone that I like would not be here. It's that, it's like that weird mixture of loungy, like, sitting in a cocktail lounge and, I don't know, just...
It's mesmerizing.
It sounds like it smells like cigarettes to
It's
me.
magical. All music smells like cigarettes.
This one really just has that Midwestern riding around in the winter with your parents smoking cigarettes in the car. Like, I don't know. It's just very...
Well, yeah, I enjoyed driving all over the world playing this, yes.
Yeah.
There are many times I've been sitting in an airport just blacked out listening to it.
I would go crazy. Like,
especially
this right
when
here
you're
is
listening to it on your headset because there's so much surround sound
in
to
my
it.
ears right now, and I don't like it. Like, I don't. I'm like... I'd be like, man, no. Change it. I'm quick to change Pink Floyd. As soon as
Makes
I hear
no
it.
sense to me.
We're
I could
just-
listen to this for hours.
I know. That's the thing. I think that's why I don't.
By the
like
way,
it.
it wasn't 5 minutes. It was 15 minutes. That was wrong. That was that other song I played earlier. Yeah, this is a 15-minute song.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
we
not
don't
even
have
halfway
things
through
to
it
do.
yet. I'm not even halfway through.
Who has time to listen to a 15-minute song?
Oh, I do. Yes, there is a 23-minute. I think it's 23-minute song on Metal. No, wait, on Atom Heart Mother. That
Atom?
there's only Atom as in the atom bomb, like Atom.
Oh,
Atom Heart Mother.
Heart Mother.
Yes.
Adam Heart. Like,
Yeah.
is our mother.
Yeah.
Adam Heart.
Yeah. And there's a picture of a cow on the cover.
I just don't get it.
It's the best.
I feel like an old woman. What are y'all listening to?
And there's a song on there that only
Change
has
this.
one line. 23 minutes long. You hear a train go through, like you feel like you're going to get hit by a train. It gets so loud.
I don't need
It gets so epic until the point that they're like, silence in the studio. And that's it. Like that's the only time they say anything.
Cause I want to relax,
Oh yeah,
man.
it builds and builds and builds and builds and builds and builds.
I don't need this roller coaster of emotions when I'm listening to music.
Do
man.
when I'm painting.
Yeah. See, I guess I'm not creative either. Like, I don't got that, I can draw stick figures really good.
We're not going to make it through this whole song.
I hope not. I would love for us not to.
I am sorry. I can't resist because I cannot believe.
Yeah, I know. Pink Floyd, I just don't like them. I just
All right,
don't listen to them.
Let
The
me see what
Beatles,
you think
I'm
about
worse.
this. Let me throw you for a loop now.
Okay.
We're going to finish it off with one more direction. Come over here.
Are you going to change
make
my
you laugh.
view?
No.
Maybe become
Not
a
at all.
believer?
This is completely different. Yeah.
This is a story about a girl that I knew. She didn't like my songs and that made me feel blue.
Is this Pink Floyd? I don't know who this is. Let me hear it.
She don't rock and roll.
Is this the Beatles? I don't know who this is.
This is Syd Barrett.
Oh, okay.
So after he goes insane, the label talks him into coming in and recording. And you should hear the outtakes because he's out of his mind.
Crazy.
And they don't know what to do with the recordings.
Oh.
So
Poor
David
guy.
and Roger and Richard and I think Nick too went in there and produced it after the recordings and put something together. So they're the background
Oh, okay.
to his lyrics
Yeah.
and his guitar. He's playing the guitar.
Poor Sid.
He made 2 albums like this, I think 2 or 3.
It has a very Kinks feel to it.
Yes.
Yeah, the Kinks. That's
I think he's still more significant than people realize in that 3. We go back to the Beatles having a 10 year that's really big for everybody. Really that first, well, it's all 10. But no one realizes that Sid only existed in a 3-year period and then, maybe these albums, so maybe 5 years out of the 20 years that existed in that moment. And he's almost more influential than all the Beatles combined for what you think about where it comes out of. Because you're right, this sounds like the Kinks.
Yeah.
This sounds like a lot of different music,
yeah.
and they heard it back then
See, I
because
can
that's when
dig
it was
this.
coming out.
I like Sid. I like Sid before and after.
Sid's great.
Is Sid still with us?
No,
R.I.P.
he is
Sid.
not.
Rest in
The
power,
only
yo.
2 3 are still left.
There-
Roger, David, and Nick Mason.
Mr.
the
Gilmore's
drummer.
still with us? Good.
Oh yeah.
Roger
they're up there.
Waters. Oh, the dick.
I just saw Roger Waters last year.
Yeah.
I
What's
think
he up
Nicole and
to?
I saw it last year, and she said it was her favorite concert of all time, even
Interesting.
better than The Wall. I was like, "There's no way it's better." It was awesome,
But you don't feel like it's better.
but it's 1 and 2,
1 and 2.
1 and 2, and I've seen him 3 times, and the middle one was,
You haven't seen Kid Rock live, I can tell you that.
yeah, I have,
Oh, have you really?
yeah,
I have not. No,
at
okay.
his bar,
In Nashville?
yeah,
No.
it was awesome. Nice try. yes, I have.
His bar in Michigan. Isn't that where he's from?
No, he's from Michigan. He has a bar downtown, Broadway.
I know. Why?
Because he lives here.
Go to Michigan.
No, he lives here.
Go back to your state.
He loves his town.
He loves that bar.
That whole shooting the
Okay.
Bud Light can was here.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Thanks, kid. We appreciate you.
So yeah, this is Syd Barrett. This is his solo work. And they're really bizarre lyrics. Extremely bizarre lyrics.
See, I can dig that too. I love weird lyrics. But it has to be weird lyrics and like contemporary music. It can't be like weird on weird. Like I need a little contemporary weird, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. It was such a trippy time, man. Like I wish that I was around then. I just up, down, even ho. Love it. Like
He's just belting it
Look
out.
at you, man. Yeah.
He's like it all.
I love it. It sounds like mental illness.
I love it, but I do love it a lot. I mean, it's on my phone.
47.9
I didn't
gigs.
I didn't move anything onto my phone for this episode. It was already there.
This is his personal collection.
All right, so was that an okay story?
Yeah, it was good.
Didn't do too bad.
Yeah, no, it was great.
How
See,
long
we
did it
talk.
take?
Oh no. Uh oh.
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yeah, maybe I gotta unplug that or try a different card or something, but I noticed, just says again.
I saw something pop up.
I
Might
noticed,
not have audio.
well, no, yeah. I noticed, I think it was on one of the last ones I recorded, that there was a gap, like when we were talking, all of a sudden we're like 2 seconds off or half, and I was like, what the hell? And I had to move it.
Yeah.
And I had to like take the audio from that camera and raise it super high for a split second. So you barely notice that you'll be like, what the? Sounds
Good.
weird for a second.
And then I was like, anyways, back to the normal volume.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Well, hopefully it's okay. This is
All
good.
right.
I still don't like Pink Floyd, but I do appreciate the conversation.
Okay,
It's good.
not giving you those eyes.
I can see that you're giving me those eyes. You're going to have to take off your sunglasses when we're done. I want to see what your eye looks like.
No, it looks like crap. You don't
No,
want to see it.
I
It's
do want to
nasty.
see it.
All right, now, what do we have here? What's next? Oh, and I also have a good story about yesterday, too. So
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell that real
No,
quick?
we can do the news first.
Well, I just wanted to let y'all know for our...
Let me turn this down. Oh, what would you like me to play now?
Oh, you want to play some jam band? You want to give us a little fish? Do you have any fish on your 47.9 gigs?
It's a very good question. I used to. Let's see
The
if I still
flying
do.
spaghetti monster, wasn't that one of those weird little... So, guys, coming to you live.
Uh-huh.
My favorite. I always don't know. So Fish has announced their new album. So we got Evolve.
Perfect timing for the audience to be like,
Yes. Thank you. And see, we're going to have to listen to like 7 minutes of this shit. Like, God, I cannot stand.
no,
they
it's
had-
not that long.
It's going to be like 7 minutes
3
of
minutes.
crowds.
3:50. I picked a good one.
You
This is a
did.
good song. This is live.
This is live.
Alive.
It is alive and live. Everything for Fish is alive. Fish, they're just such amazing weirdos. But anyway, so this is coming out. The album will be arriving on July 12th. And they just announced this right before their Las Vegas Sphere dates. So, Sphere
When are they
dates.
doing the Sphere?
So if you're interested, this is going to also let you know.
August?
It is April 18th. They're going to be at the Las Vegas Eye-Popping Sphere venue from April 18th to the 21st. So get your
Wow.
tickets now because that's like in 3 days or something like
Yeah,
that.
good luck on that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Dang it.
Or by the time this comes out, it will be in the past.
Yeah.
So you won't get to see it. Sorry, I'm bringing you jaw-dropping news in the past.
Sorry you missed that concert.
Yeah, it was a real doozy. It was awesome. You really missed the experience. But yeah, so this is their 16th album. It's called Evolve, and let's hope they do evolve because
16th album, huh?
16.
And they took like 10 years off.
Yeah,
They did. I mean, they took a long time off.
yeah.
They broke up for a while.
these guys are
So it's funny if you remember. I gotta turn it up for you. If you remember, when I went to go see Alert the Sky, the wife's dad.
Dad was a Fish fan. Fish
So-
head, right? What do they
yeah,
call them? Fish
I
bait?
think so. Fish
What,
heads.
fish
I don't know.
food?
I think they're fish heads.
The fish heads.
I do enjoy fish, but I'm not that big. Same thing with the Grateful Dead. I mean, I went to see the Grateful Dead. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved them back then, but I'm good.
It's like I can't vibe with like the whole. I appreciate
See, now
them.
that kind of jam band stuff is not as big of a deal to me as Floyd is, because Floyd is 100% cold and calculating everything matters.
Yeah, it's like a
These guys are
serial
just
killer.
jamming. Yeah, architects.
Yeah, these are spree killers.
Yeah,
not
these guys are
serial
just
killer.
goofing off
Yeah, they are.
in a good way.
They are. They're fun. I don't like their music, but I appreciate them. Like, I think they're
This
fun.
is one of my favorite songs of theirs, and it's live, but it's called "Bouncing Around," and they're just happily bouncing
Bouncing
around.
around,
Like,
yeah.
It's just bounce on.
This is probably the one Fish song that I know, because I just don't know a lot of Fish.
No,
No.
I have two of their albums, a double live and I have Hoist.
Bouncer. Yeah, it's cute. All right, but that's it. Yeah. So this. Sorry that y'all are gonna miss. You're gonna miss the Sphere, but this.
Well, we need to find out what's going to be in August, so I can go see something there while I'm at the
Yeah.
games.
I'll keep you abreast
While I'm
with
Well,
the past.
playing in the
Ted
team
Balls.
championships.
Brought to you by Ted Balls. Ted Balls. But if you do, after the Sphere, they will be running an extensive tour that's going to kick off July 19th. It's going to be starting in Mansfield, Massachusetts. It's going to go all the way to September 1st. And it's going to end in Commerce City, Colorado. So, check out Fish's website if you want to know any more about
Commerce
that.
City is a suburb of Denver. I think that's Red. Is that Red Rocks or no? It might be.
Might be.
It's a beautiful place. I've stayed there.
Red Rocks does a good comedy.
I almost went to Red
festival.
Rocks. Actually, I think I almost went the last time I was there, or I was supposed to go twice last year, and I think I was going to plan a concert, and then they canceled the training class both times. I was like, I wanted to go so bad.
Shake my fist.
So I have not had time to go back.
Yeah.
And Nicole's going there in a couple months.
Me and
She's
Nicole, you mean?
excited.
Yeah, I'm going with her.
Sure.
There's a pack me in her suitcase. Fill me up.
Cool.
So, all right, tell me your story.
All right. So yesterday, I did this crazy project.
Oh yeah, because we were supposed to meet yesterday. He couldn't do it.
Well, plus I didn't get home till
late. Yeah, no, I mean you could have
15.
done it. We could have, but sometimes we need to decompress, So
No, I was tired. I wore out. So
yeah,
it's funny. I do this. I went there because one of my contractors, one of my clients, had trouble on a job and had to redo it. So I was like, well, let me come in and show you what I do and let me train your guys and help you out. Mm-hmm. And it was in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky. I mean, middle of nowhere.
Everything's in the middle of nowhere in
one
Kentucky.
bar, middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was a house. It was about 3,200 square feet. I thought it was going to take about 2 hours to do. It took 6 hours. By the time I left, they still were finishing it.
Oh, wow.
So I totally screwed up on how long it was going to take. It was a different technique than I'd done before.
That's
with
what
some of
you're
the
saying.
stuff we were doing. We were trying something new.
Get to learn.
It was insane. But the funny thing to the story is there's this guy, Nick, that pours concrete. Mm-hmm. And I have not seen him in 7 years.
What up, Nick?
And
We had a reunion.
so I go in, I pull in, I'm sitting on the back of my car changing my shoes, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, you look really familiar.
You're like, is that Nick?
Why do I know you? You look like this guy, Nick, but why would you be in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky right now on a project with me? It was him.
It was Nick. What up, Nick?
And I was like, how are you doing? Why are you here? And he said, I had to move away. He was living in East Nashville, and he couldn't get off of drugs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you couldn't afford it anymore. Because that's also
I don't
something
know
that
if
can
he could or
happen.
not, actually, depending on that. And at that time,
Yeah.
and he moved up to nowhere, Kentucky, and got clean.
Oh, that's awesome. Good job, Nick, man.
And he's, having a blast up there. And it's
Yeah.
beautiful. I mean, it's all rolling hills. The scenery was amazing. He said there's a lake right around the corner. He fishes out all the time, and
That's cool.
all these crazy stories about that area and why he loves it so much. And he's like, we're talking, and he's telling everybody, this is the legend Rick Lobdell and all this kind of stuff. If anybody could do this, all these kind of things. I'm like, jeez.
Way to play me up, man, on a technique I've never
So
done.
he's talking about how I'm known worldwide and I'm famous and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, I don't know about that. And he goes, and I said something about my shows and what I've been doing and my podcast and everything. And he's like, yeah, I think I saw something about that. I don't know. And we were talking about social media. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, he goes, yeah, well, I have a video that has 3 million views. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you just say?
How'd you get the views, Nick?
And so he was like, yeah. And so he starts talking to me about this, and he made decent money last year on Facebook Reels.
Oh, okay.
Like, to the point that I was like, I'm just not getting it. And
telling
he
you, it's all
showed
about the
me,
reels,
and I
y'all.
looked it up. He's got 60,000 followers on his Facebook account. And I looked him up, and I looked at his videos, and it's like 1 million here and 3 million there and 1.5 million here. I'm like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And he said, you make a certain amount of money for every 1 million views.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, good job. Good for him.
So it was an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
Loved working with them.
Good.
And
Send him our videos.
And it was exhausting to do what we were doing. Like the technique that I have for doing metallic epoxy is so hard to do. I mean, it's not, but I don't do it very often, so I'm rusty anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And it gave you an eye infection.
No.
No.
Well, it didn't help. It was already happening before that from some of the stuff I was doing at the office.
Okay.
And so I got to a point where I finally was like, okay, Nick, you got to take over. So I showed him what I was doing and how I was doing the technique, and then I took over for him and did the edges and was watching him and was like, no, you got to do it this way, not this way. Again, no, not this way, this way. And then
Nick,
he got
you're doing it wrong.
He got it. It was all great. I had a blast with them. And then I got to a point where I got to walk outside and sit down and look in there, and they're all doing it without me. And I was like, you know what, guys, you got it. I'll see you later.
I'm out. I want to see pictures of it completed.
Well, I don't know if I'll ever see it again.
You better hit up old Nick.
Well, okay. He made a video.
Yeah. See?
He made a video.
All right.
And I can post it because he sent me the video yesterday without the sound or anything like that. So I can play it anyway. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'll play it.
Cool.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
We'll shout you out, Nick. You shout us out.
Yeah. So it was pretty awesome. It was quite the experience to help these guys out. I had a blast with all of them
Yeah.
because I'm this crazy artist and, all this kind of stuff. So it was pretty funny. A bunch of Middle of nowhere, Kentucky, concrete guys.
Did you make him listen to Pink Floyd while y'all played with metallic concrete?
No, I was polite. I put a headset on.
Yeah, you were just listening. You were taking that experience for yourself, not sharing it.
Yep.
Do you think Pink Floyd would be happy with you? You need to be sharing that experience.
No, you need to have it in your ears so you can have the full surround.
All right.
I guess I need a water.
Yeah. We're gonna let Rick get himself right. It's allergy season here, y'all. If you're not in Middle Tennessee or the South in general, just know we're suffering down here. That's why I keep rubbing my eye.
It's so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, my eyes are watering constantly.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm crying. So sad.
It's the worst. Yeah, this one is too.
Sneezing. Yeah. I can't wait to see it. Chris eyes.
You'd have nightmares.
I already do. Let's just add to them.
It's because all the Floyd and the fish and
It's good.
I forgot that I left fish
It's
on
gonna be
for
me
you
like
just to make it
running
even
down
better.
like those black and white, hallways that just extend with like inanimate objects chasing me.
We're only on the second song,
Yes.
and we're only halfway through that one.
Jim man. These are some cool little, hacky sacks.
So then I can't torture you with Grateful Dead then, can I?
You can or you can't.
I can't. Is that worse than Floyd?
Grateful Dead?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't care about those. They're fine.
You would rather listen to Grateful Dead than Floyd?
Yeah. Riding that train high on cocaine all day long. Give it to me. What's up? What's up, Jerry? I see you, Jerry.
They have 35-minute songs that make no sense.
But they're just goofy. They're like, but they never took themselves serious. Like, that's the thing. It's like, they're like, yeah,
But to me, that's the whole point of music, is to take it serious.
No, man. Life is... Listen, someone called me out on my tattoo, okay? It hurt my feelings. My heart got hurt.
Which one, the reverse mermaid?
No. No.
That makes no sense.
It makes all the sense. It's like the most sense ever. Everyone's like, ooh, mermaids are cute. You can't do anything with that thing. But this thing you can't. Regardless, they're always going to smell like fish. But my Steve Buscemi, someone pulled me aside at work and she was like, there's got to be a story behind that. You don't have to tell me, but there's got to be. And this girl was walking by and she goes, yeah, it's called being 18 once. And I was like, oh, I did this last year. Like,
Wow.
yeah. I was like, oh.
That's what she assumes all tattoos are.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's young. She's younger than me. I'm like, come on now. This is a meaningful tattoo.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine that has a tattoo on his neck that he got at 19
Yeah.
and regrets it
Wholeheartedly.
completely.
I don't regret any of my tattoos. I love them all.
And
But I don't. I was telling the girl that asked me the story. I was like, I just don't take anything serious. Life is not meant to, and I enjoy this and I love it and
I love my high-strung life.
yeah. That's why I can listen.
But that's also probably why I take high blood pressure medicine and you don't, and
And
so
that's
on
why
and
you
so
link
forth.
to Pink
Floyd calms
and-
me down as best as possible.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
I
most calming thing I can do
like,
for
that's
myself.
too serious, man. That's like they're just taking,
So
I just want to be
peaceful.
high on that train or high on cocaine, riding that train. I don't want to be high on cocaine. Just quoting lyrics, but that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
the hard part to that is that every time I listen to music, I think about where it's at in my painting. I even have paintings based on Floyd songs and everything.
hey, that's cool.
I do.
Yeah, it would just be a circle.
People would never know that because the title doesn't match. It's like,
Yeah,
But yeah.
I get it. It's yours. I like it. I like it for you. But
It's killing you.
it is. So this is.
Hey, at least you got through it and it's over now.
I did. I got through it pretty well, I think.
We don't ever have to talk about Pink Floyd again on this show.
It's dead to me.
Never once.
Never. Pink who? Floyd who? Oh no. We'll talk about the Gilmore though. Old Dave.
Even though they changed the history of music forever.
Forever. We wouldn't be who we are. I wouldn't be here if Pink Floyd wasn't. That's not true.
No.
And my dad listened to Beethoven.
My dad still listens to the country music from the 50s.
Yeah.
He can't stand anything that happened from when he went. He said when he went into the the Navy, whatever he was listening to before, when he came back out, he didn't understand what happened to the world and didn't like any music and never listened to anything new again.
I'm like your dad.
And stayed there the entire life, like his entire life. That's all he would listen to is that music.
That's it.
The only thing I've gotten him to listen to outside of that is Simon and Garfunkel.
Simon, that's a good one though. I love Paul Simon.
I love this guitar solo right now that you are hating. I am jamming right now.
Oh,
Fish is awesome.
Fish.
I'm really glad we put Fish on. Fish is awesome. I forget.
Well,
I haven't listened to this in a while.
come July 12th, you get a new Fish experience. Get some new songs from them. So,
Can't wait.
yeah, like Fish is like...
I got a good one for you. Before we close up here.
Knock,
I got
knock, who's there?
one last thing to finish up on Fish.
Okay.
Trey Anastasia is the lead guitarist, and most of the lyrics are the vocals are Trey Anastasia.
Okay.
I don't know if I talked about this band before, but he was also a member of a 3-man band called Oysterhead.
Oh, I think you did tell me about this. And this Oysterhead had 2 other pretty remarkable people in it.
Extremely remarkable people, yes.
Yeah.
That would never go. All 3 of them do not make any sense together.
Yeah, and then there was another band that had 3 that was
Yes.
pretty foul. So,
It did it once too. It is Trey Anastasia, Les Claypool,
yep.
and Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland.
He's the drummer from Police.
Roxanne. You don't have to turn off your red light.
Yep.
Love it.
Pretty awesome.
It is.
Yeah, the other one you're thinking about is Them Crooked Vultures.
Yes.
That's got John Paul Jones as the bassist from Led Zeppelin.
That's it.
Yeah.
Whole lot of love.
I'm not doing it again.
Do it again. Well, this has been fun. I've liked this.
No, it hasn't been. It's been torture for you the entire time.
It's good.
It's been
Good
fun
time.
for all of them, though, because they're all like, I love Floyd. You're right. The purist knows all.
I mean, to each their own. Sit over here and eat my cookie. Listen to my 80s grunge.
Oh, yeah, I want to go back to grunge, too.
Let's
For
go
sure.
back to grunge.
But that's, everybody does. Yeah.
We should go back to black, man. Talking about Amy Winehouse. She's pretty...
Hell no.
Pretty what? That has a soulful voice, man. Can't be a purist and ignore something like that.
I didn't care.
It's a voice.
Yes,
man.
her voice is amazing, but the music is,
Yeah.
It's not all about one thing. It's the whole package deal.
We'll see.
It's the concept.
You know what? Maybe we will do Amy Winehouse. I just listened
great.
to
I
Pink
walked into that one,
Floyd.
didn't I?
Yeah, we listened to. It told me to go to rehab, and I said no. I didn't say that right at all.
Hey, it finally got to the 3rd song on this Fish album.
Jesus. So we'll see you back in another 45 minutes before this one ends.
All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Sorry we
Thanks,
rambled at the
guys.
end. We haven't rambled in a while.
We haven't rambled. We're rambling on. A whole lot of love. Can't help it. Come back next time.
First of all, it's ramble on. not
Ramble on. Yeah, you're right. I'm rambling on. I love, man. I'm going to listen to...
You're right on the whole lot of love.
I am.
not the
It's
ramble on.
still in my head. But I'm going to listen to Led Zeppelin on my way home, I think.
Great.
Just jam out to those guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. We'll see ya.